And when it comes to this, what is the timeline looking at? How long does the president have to make his legal case? Is it until the electors meet, or what is the timeline that we're looking at?
Well, it really is until the electors meet, but the best time to do it is before the state legislatures have to certify, because in some ways they're our audience, one of our audiences, because they have to be able to say that these are legal ballots. And when ballots are cast in contravention of their laws, they can't say they're legal ballots. I mean, these rules were passed by the state legislature. The legislature of Michigan set down a very, very strict rule for how these ballots had to be counted so that they could be certified and they could be verified. Largely because mail ballots are considered to be inherently dangerous and fraudulent. This is the Supreme Court has said this. Justice Souter pointed out that this is the most fraudulent method of voting, the most prone to voter fraud. Well, the Democrats of the big city machines have proven to us that that's right. They exceeded the pig factor in this cheating. And that's largely because President Trump ran much stronger than they expected. And when he was ahead by 800,000 votes in Pennsylvania, they panicked because it's really hard to make up that many votes. You're not going to make them up legally. So they had to go out and manufacture votes. And I think we can show you pictures of the manufactured votes. Same thing in Michigan. They were down by so much, they were in panic mode. And when criminals get to be in panic mode, they make big mistakes. Then you'll find the same thing happened in Nevada. Same thing happened in Arizona. The same thing happened in Georgia. The same thing happened in Milwaukee. Notice they're all big city Democrat machines. It didn't happen in the rural areas of the state or even in the suburban or the non-Democrat controlled areas of the state. The voting there was perfect. The Democrats confined it to the places where they have complete control. They've had control for years. It's the same places they've ruined over the years. It's the same places that have the riots and the heavy crime. I mean, all the heavy crime takes place in Democrat-controlled cities. So if you can have heavy crime and you can have a kind of corrupt political machine, why not steal votes? I mean, it would be unusual for there to be a big election in Philadelphia and not steal votes. They steal votes in just about every election. And they have so many people that have gone to jail for it. They should have a special jail for people who steal votes.
Unfortunately, I feel like Democrats think they can get away with anything at this point. They got away with Russiagate and Obamagate largely. They got away with their fake impeachment sham. And I'm so glad to have people like you on the ground who are saying, no, Democrats, you're not going to get away with stealing this election. And we're putting our foot down and we're telling them no.
Yeah, I mean, and they got away with that whole hard drive in which millions of dollars of crimes are proven on the part of the Biden crime family. And the whole media censored it. American people were never allowed to assess the evidence of the 30 or 40 million dollars that was paid to the Biden crime family when Biden was vice president. That's unheard of.
And when it comes to the Hunter Biden scandal that broke just before this election, you saw big tech really put its boot down on the neck of freedom of speech, freedom of the press to suffocate the story. And now they're trying to suffocate this story when it comes to the election fraud. Is that election interference on behalf of big tech?
Election interference, absolutely. They're trying to rig the election. I mean, they're as big a part of the fraud as the Democrat Party. I mean, it's a total fraud. I mean, look, they called Arizona for him after 2% of the vote is in, and you still can't call Arizona. They refused to call North Carolina for him. He's won North Carolina for 5 days. I mean, I hope the American people can see the con job that's being done on them. It's sickening. This election is not over. The votes that separate the two are very small. And in the states in which they separate them, every one of those states has a corrupt Democrat machine. And at least in 2 of those states, I can tell you, the votes are illegal. Trump won both states by a pretty good margin.